Heyo, what's up my droogies? Welcome back to Weeping Beetroots. So, this is my fourth video. It's about the latest addition to my crossbow collection. Now, I've got a much better one. Oh, so much stronger, more powerful, just much more fun as well to shoot and to do stuff with. But there was a spanner was thrown in the works, which made it. I'm sorry. It's sad. It's a sad situation. Yeah, this is my baby. Or it was supposed to be, but it was not to be. Yeah, as you can see, it split right there. So you can see if I pull this string just a little bit too much, then there you can see. Hopefully, it's zooming now. That yeah, it's just split there completely. You know. Which is terrible. So obviously I can't use this anymore. It's just gonna pull this wood completely. But that's not too bad, you know. I'm gonna see if it's possible to just take off this wood, the strip there, all the way along the length of the whole bow, and see what I can do. Maybe I can work with it. Maybe I can't. We'll see. And here it is. The proper crossbow. No, just kidding. Or am I? No. Yeah, so, moving on. This is my latest crossbow, which I am just, like, so proud of, really. Probably shouldn't be. Again, it's not that great, it's not amazing, but, yeah, it's okay. So, you've seen what I did to the bow, unfortunately, accidentally, when I dry fired it, meaning when it shoots without a bolt in there. So it's surprising, but you know, a bolt like this, it's not very heavy, but it's still got some weight to it, and the energy of the bow is transferred into that bolt, into the weight of the bolt, and it's transferred more into the potential energy from the bow, into kinetic energy, moving that bolt where you want it to be moved. Problem is, when there's no weight to take that power, that potential energy, where does it all go? Into thin air? No, into the bow itself. And well, into these cords and the stock itself, but first and foremost, the bow itself takes all that load. Which is why it's not necessarily fatal, but quite bad to shoot a light bolt or light arrow from a heavy duty bow. Usually, if you do it once or twice, obviously it's fine, but consistently it means that the bow is putting in too much energy and not enough of that energy is going into the bolt or arrow because it's too light, and the bow then has to take the excess strain, and that's what happened. I think, at least. I'm not an expert, but I think so. I was loading it and it just accidentally shot with no bolt, and then the string just cracked it. My notches were also not great, so it did allow for the string to actually get in there. But anyway, what's done is done. Now, as you can see, I was able to take away those strips on the bottom and the top of the bow, and all along the length, which is perfect, just wonderful. There were no cracks that I could see that went deeper. So it means I could take off that wood, just file it down, prettify it, and smooth it over, and now we're back to a proper functional bow. It's much less, it's not as wide, but it's still as thick and should have close to the same level of power as the bow as it used to have. It's not the same, but still close enough. So let me just go over it quickly, shortly. You can see that, okay, this is the bow. This time, as opposed to my previous bow where you could see the growth lines, it was just a shoddy sort of work of just doing the bow and messing around and trying to get it just to the right shape. That one worked because it was a low, very weak sort of low level bow, right? For this one I really wanted to do it properly, and that meant getting the back of the bow, the part facing outward, getting that down to a single growth line or growth ring, because that means it won't have any weak spots where it can crack and break, and it bends across that entire growth ring. And it should be late wood, at least if it's a hardwood like this. This is oak, and with oak, and as with most hardwoods, the late wood lines, the late wood growth rings, are much, much stronger than the early wood ones. The early wood is basically crap, you can't even use it really, but the late wood, fantastic. So if you get wood with thick late wood growth lines, and that, you know, you can, it is fairly straight and you can get it across the entire length of the bow, you can shave it down on the back to that single growth line, and that's a thick one. Oh, you are golden, golden. And that's what I got here, more or less. So I hope you can see there. Let's try and focus. But that's a single growth line all along the length there, you know. And then on the back, it can be, you know, it will go through several growth rings because you do have to shave it down. And then I'm just holding the bow onto the stock here, as you can see there. It's just held on in place by some cords, some cotton string. Now this is quite loose still. Later I'm going to make it really properly tie it to the stock. I first want to wax over the whole stock and the bow and everything, make it pretty and all that. But yeah, for now, just held in place there with a few some cotton thread, you know, and with a piece of old boxer shorts that I had lying around. So, you know, who knew that could be useful. Anyway, that's about it. Yeah, so that's the crossbow. Now let's take it to the range and shoot. So it's about, I think, around 100 pounds draw weight for this bow. It's way too weak to need a spanning mechanism like a goat's foot lever, or especially, you know, a windlass, you know, where they actually have pulleys and a whole system to wind back and pull back the string. Unnecessary here. 100 pounds is easy. I mean, I'm sure many people will be able to pull it back one-handed. Not me, but that's what the stirrup is for. So it's actually quite simple to load. As you can see, I have to just make sure the trigger has space to fall back. So the weight of the trigger will actually pull it into place. If I put the rolling nut in this position, then the trigger, the head, the front of the trigger there is sort of pushing up against the rolling nut because it's the weight of the trigger is pulling it down. So I just make sure that it's got some space here to fall back. I make sure the trigger nut is in this position, and then put my foot in the stirrup, pull back on the string, and then, as you can see, with the string I push back on the rolling nut. It pushes it to this position. The trigger nut engages the sear, and now it's held in place, and there you go. It is now in a fairly stable position, held in place. Now all I have to do is put the bolt in, and bada bing bada boom. Okay, now these bolts are made from ash wood, which is a very tough kind of wood, and I used some pine to make the fletches, the flights on here. And I tried to give them a bit of a curve up on either side, and hopefully I hope that that would give it a bit of spin during flight, and that helps with accuracy. You know, we have that today with rifled bullets, rifled guns, and they knew this in medieval times as well. They weren't necessarily sure how it worked, and it took them a while to, you know, do it for guns. But for arrows and bolts, they, I think, from fairly early on, used curved fletchers, giving it a bit of a spin. So I can show you, you know, if I just load this, pull back there. There we've got it loaded, and you can see these flights. Obviously this is a point blank range, so you can't really see much, but you get the idea. Hopefully over a long enough distance you'll be able to hit that zombie right between the eyes. Now, how about a few more shots, but let's make it a bit more interesting. Let's go for soda cans.
So, let's shake it up. And fire away. Beautiful. Oh, wonderful. Let's see. Look at the damage there. Wow, that is great stuff. Okay, nice. Did more than I thought it would. I guess it was quite explosive with the gas building up in the can itself and all that. But yeah, on the other side, let's see. Ah, it hasn't even gone through all the way, so that's quite nice. Okay, next one. Let's do it. Shake it up a bit. In position. 3, 2, 1. Oh, wonder freaking full. Oh, beautiful. Now the Coke actually splashed the camera there, but let me just show you the damage done here. It went, you know, I don't know exactly what happened, but the can must have just flown up and caused the whole bolt to sort of pincer it like that, you know, go in here, out there. Incredible energy there.
So thanks, that's it from me, Eric at Weeping Beetroots, and thanks, see you next time.